Hello friends, my name is Moby. I've been building companies and investing most of my adult life. And today I am going to start a brand new challenge. 100x, yes, that's right. My goal is to turn $10,000 into $1 million. I know that sounds absolutely degen and a bit hyperbolic, but hey, I thought it would be fun. And I actually believe that this is possible. Now I'm giving myself 10 years. So this is something I want to document. I enjoy watching content. So I figured, hey, you know what? Maybe it'll be fun to create it myself also. How are we going to do this? Well, first, we're going to find great assets. You saw Tesla and MicroStrategy. Those two companies are going to be my primary assets, and I'm about to show you exactly how it's going to work soon. We're going to take upside bets. So we want lottery tickets, and we're going to use options in order to gain leverage on those. But the big key here is we're going to make others pay for it. So that's going to go through selling options in order to actually take those upside bets. So these upside bets are going to be free. I'm going to show you exactly how. All right, so I mentioned Tesla and strategy. This is why we're going to be investing in these two primarily. This is an AI and BTC play. Those two sectors are going to be my favorite sectors going into 2025, 2026. I'm not too worried about the crash that's happening right now. I'm focused on the long term. Tesla is the biggest robotics and AI company. Strategy is a BTC play, best Bitcoin proxy. They have the largest BTC bag, huge upside, one of the best stock performers in the last 5 years. So most of us are here because we're here to make money. We're here to invest. You have to start learning options as soon as possible. I really hope to inspire others by creating this video series that options doesn't need to be scary, and it's probably the best way that you can maximize your return on investment. What is my goal when investing with options? It's simple as this: be the house. Don't be the player, be the house. So you want to buy long-term properties and you want to collect short-term rent. So what I mean by that is when you're buying properties, you're actually buying shares or you're actually buying synthetic calls. When you have those properties, you can sell against them. In other words, you can collect rent weekly. I like to use the word rent because it's just easier than saying that you're going to collect your premium. Rent, something people understand, it's very simple. So I will sell you the bet and you will actually pay me for that. So we're going to sell a put spread, we're going to sell weekly calls, and we're going to sell monthly calls in my portfolio plan. Okay, let's get into the portfolios. I have my strategy portfolio and I have my Tesla portfolio. I'm going to do a quick overview and then we'll get into the details. So you can see I deposited $10,000 cash, and each one of these has a very specific purpose. But the biggest thing here is going to be at the top. I'm going to sell a put spread, which means I'm going to collect premium. And then I'm going to take that premium and I'm going to buy a lottery ticket with it. But max gain, this lottery ticket, it's going to cost me $3,200 with a max possible gain of $41,800. And it's all paid for by this put spread. This put spread is fairly low risk in my opinion. For me to keep that $3,200, strategy simply needs to hit 300 by January 2027. So this is amazing. The rest is pure income. Tesla, same type of thing. I'm selling a put spread, collecting $3,200, and I'm actually buying a lottery ticket with a max gain of $41,600. Okay, let's break down these trades. So I'm going to start first with the put spreads, both in strategy and Tesla. These are going to act as my primary home. These are my long-term positions. They are providing instant income on day one that I can then use to purchase these lottery tickets. And you already saw that I have over a $40,000 upside on both of these. I give them probably a 60% chance at actually closing in the money. To get max gain, who knows, might be 5%, 10%, something like that. But as long as we can turn this money into a favorable outcome, then we'll be in really, really good shape. Okay, now let's look at the other positions, which are going to be a completely different objective. So we've got these, what I call rental homes. In other words, I'm either buying shares or I'm actually buying synthetic shares through call options. What that means is it may cost me either a one-time fee to buy the shares or a one-time premium, and then I'm going to sell calls against them for income. The goal of these rental homes is not to actually make any money at all from buying the shares themselves. All of the income we want is the weekly rent. These are highly volatile stocks that are paying insane rent just for those who want to actually buy calls. So if these calls hit, that's okay because I have these rental homes to back it up. And so if we can just collect rent, and I'm talking, a few $100s per week for these portfolios would be a tremendous amount that we can then reinvest and strengthen our other positions. All right, now the fun stuff. I'm about to reveal my entire portfolios here from Tasty Trade. These trades were all done on Friday. It's not going to be pretty for me tomorrow, but what I want to show you, what's most important to me here is the passive income created from these accounts. So pay attention to weekly covered calls, covered call. This should be the same. Basically, those are two weekly covered calls, and they're both getting $114 for this week. I basically sold a call for $114 against my shares, and then I collected $72 on the Ameritrade against my $900 synthetic call. So will I receive $200 per week on these particular stocks? Maybe, maybe not. It really depends on how the week goes. However, I'll basically show you how I manage these trades. I may not even keep these until Friday, but they do expire here on April 11th. And then you have the great spread, great put. I'm not going to do anything with these except just let them sit. I will manage them from time to time if needed, but the great put I don't plan on actually doing anything with for a very long time. All right, now a quick look into my Tesla portfolio. At the top here, you can see that SMCI is going to be what I use to generate the income. So I bought 200 shares of SMCI, and then I sold two covered calls for a total of actually $281. Amazing volatility on this stock allows me to actually get a higher rent for this week. And it may not be that much every single week, but it's pretty damn great. We'll see how that one matures. This one also is an expiration of April 11th. And then that's it. Pretty simple portfolio. The rest is going to be the spread and the put, which again, we'll manage as needed. Let's talk about some ground rules that I set up for myself. This is specifically for these portfolios. Number one, I need to take in more rent than I shell out. Do not spend more. Don't buy more lottery tickets. I need to be collecting the rent first. Number two, spend 50% of rent to expand the rental properties and then hold 50% of cash. So basically all I'm saying is that when I bring in money from the rent, go ahead and expand the rental properties. Let's build a neighborhood of rental properties. And then we'll go ahead and save the rest in cash for later considerations. Number three kind of ties into that where I want to add or improve lottery tickets when my cash balance is above $6,000. So again, let's save money and then we can consider more opportunities. Number four, don't close covered calls, AKA rent money, at a loss. I've done this in the past and I've learned my lesson from it. Price goes up really fast, price can come down really fast. Don't get stuck paying way more to close the position due to a rip upward and then all for it to simply come back later where you started. So I'd rather go ahead and roll things out, and you will see me do this and I'll explain in great detail what I'm thinking. And then number six, don't touch the great put. That's the original trade that I made that expires 2027. I don't really want to touch that. That's kind of my safety net, as well as the fact that it's just not really worth touching until way later. So I put for as long as possible. And then lastly, this is not financial advice. Obviously, nobody should ever have to say that, by the way. But yeah, I don't want to lose your money. I'm willing to lose my own money. This is really for myself, but if this does help other people, then that's amazing. All right, and finally, and probably the most interesting part of this video series is just going to see how my portfolios are doing. Well, I opened these trades early on Friday, and already we have huge moves. So Tesla took a pretty big nosedive on Friday. I'm down about $505 on those positions, and with strategy, I am actually up $353. This is going to change dramatically from week to week and even day to day, especially in this market. And so I'm happy with that. We'll see what happens. You might be asking, well, what about this market? Why would you put money in this market right now? And my answer to that is I just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm here because I want to collect short-term rent and I want to strengthen long-term positions. I'm very comfortable with my long-term positions, even with this craziness. Things could change tomorrow. That just sends the markets back up at any time. I don't want to miss these discounted prices. And so I'm very excited to start this journey, even while markets look completely wrecked. I also prepared this really cool table. It's actually going to show how my positions are doing compared to other major assets like Bitcoin, SPY, MicroStrategy, and Tesla. I want to outperform all of these. And if I don't outperform at least Bitcoin, then you can consider this whole challenge a complete failure. But that's what makes it interesting. And I can't wait to see what happens. in my future videos, you'll actually have the privilege of seeing me actually do a lot of these live trades. You're going to want to follow me either on X or YouTube. Thank you for watching. To find my profile and my trusted links, simply go to mobypie.com. All my stuff's here, and I'll keep this up to date. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video and following my investing journey. I'm going to cross my fingers. Let's hope for a green week, and we'll see what happens next. I'll see you later.